you're gonna be on this YouTube channel as a YouTube star. You're gonna have to learn how to work the camera. What's poppin', beautiful people of YouTube? Welcome back. You may have noticed a few changes around me. I thought the few videos with my background of the map and the background of my TV were a little too gross, to be quite honest. I don't know, I thought about it for a little while and I was like, who watches YouTube for the pretty backgrounds and the awesome lighting? Like, no one cares about that stuff, so we're gonna move past that. Also, my intentions from here on out are to alternate Mondays as far as like content goes. Let's just lay this out. I'll do travel video this week, next week I'll do creepy video, week after that I'll do travel video, so on and so forth. I hope you guys will enjoy that as well as my travel videos. I know that's a little bit of a weird combination, but I mean, anyways, I figured we'd get back to making some of the travel videos because I have an upcoming trip to Paris, and what better way to get me in the mood? Well, today's topic is going to be how to travel cheap to expensive destinations. And this is something that I feel like I might have a little bit of knowledge in, considering the fact that that's what I base most of my trips off of. It's kind of like when you're told you can't do something, you have the opposite reaction and you're like, well, no, I'm gonna do it. So that's kind of what sparked a lot of my trips that I have taken in the past. Like my trip to Iceland, I remember researching that trip and reading a bunch of articles about how it was super expensive and it's not meant for budget travelers and it's not very budget friendly. But I called BS on those articles because I was able to find my way to Iceland for an entire week and fit it within my budget that was reasonable. You know, I didn't break the bank and I didn't go broke traveling to Iceland, and I actually intend on going back again and again and again. So I figured that this is something that a lot of younger travelers might struggle with, and I felt it might be pretty beneficial for you to know a few of the things that I do personally to travel cheap to expensive locations. So a lot of the things that I'm gonna tell you guys about today can be used in not just expensive location destinations, but you can use it for almost any trip that you plan out. So this is not, you know, to say that these tips are meant for just certain locations, but rather almost any trip you book. First and foremost, the most obvious tip to me is to sacrifice luxuries. I mean, nowadays, a lot of the times people will try and compare themselves to someone they follow on Instagram or something they see on Facebook or on the internet in general. And they see someone like living it up in Paris, you know, at the top of the line hotel and doing every single thing that you could possibly do in Paris. But what they don't tell you or what they don't show you is what that actually costs. So it might be great for show and you might want to stunt for the gram, but is it really worth it for your wallet to go completely broke just because you want to live in someone else's lifestyle? Not really. Let's get real. Most of us, and I say most of us including me, cannot afford to stay in 5-star luxury hotels and do every single attraction that there is in each city. It's just, that is the biggest way to blow your budget. Think realistically when it comes to things like this. Like if you're going to throw down $100 for a certain attraction, what are you going to give up in return? You know, I mean, if you're going to throw down $200 for a hotel per night, there's not really much you can kind of substitute for that. Oh, look, it's my kitty. Yeah, you might not have like the coolest hotel with like gold floors and a gold toilet, but do you really need all of that stuff if you're not even spending half of your time in the hotel? So it's just kind of money that's wasted and thrown down the drain. Same goes for the attractions as well. most of the time, if not always, you can find something that's free and way cooler to do than some of the stuff that you have to pay for. But this is something that you can obviously substitute other things for, like skip out on buying souvenirs or skip out on eating at the fancy restaurant you had in mind. Like, you just have to be smart with your money when it comes to this type of thing. And that kind of trails us into the next tip that I have for you guys, which is do as the locals do. And this is, I feel, again, for obvious reasons. I mean, the people that are gonna know the most about saving you money is not me, but the locals from wherever it is that you're traveling. Anything from like what they do for daily activities, where they go shopping, where they eat, things like this will obviously save you a buttload of money. Buttload. They might know of places that you probably searched hours and hours online for and couldn't come up with, or they might know of secret places that not a lot of people know about unless they ask about it, you know? So you can also stumble upon some really cool things by asking the locals what to do or where to eat. Another thing you want to do is travel in off-season. And this can be a little bit tricky if you're not too familiar with the location that you're visiting, because you don't know what their weather is like. You don't know, you know, when their tourist season is, but that's nothing a little bit of research can't help you out with. Just saying. Traveling in off-season is something that a lot of people don't like to do because obviously most people want to see a certain location at its full bloom when, you know, the sun is out and the flowers are blooming and there's vibrant colors everywhere. But in reality, if you're trying to save money, especially if this location is expensive and known to be one of the more expensive locations, you're gonna have to sacrifice that. With this, you just kind of have to keep your mind open. I mean, I'm sure there are perks with every different season at any given location. So I'll give you a quick personal example. So like New York is, I believe, within the top 5 of the most expensive locations in the world you can travel to. And I have debunked this because I actually find New York to be pretty damn cheap. Having been there at least 5 times in my life, every single time I've stayed in Manhattan, I've visited for about a week, and I've done plenty of activities within the city. And no way did that break the bank. In fact, that's actually been one of my more cheaper vacations if I laid it out on a larger scale. It was nowhere near the price of Iceland, and it was nowhere near the price of Greece. And I always find crazy good deals with New York. So another thing that will save you quite a bit of money is walking. A lot of people don't like to walk because, let's just face it, America's lazy. I'm sorry, please don't hate me for saying that. But it's true. I mean, most of us would rather take an Uber, a bus, a taxi, or some form of transportation rather than walking. And although there are some very cheap methods of transportation out there, if you're really trying to stick to a budget, every little dime and penny counts. And this is actually how I saved quite a bit in New York. There were times where it was crazy walking their blocks, but there were times where I was like, that's not that far, I couldn't walk there. And it was kind of far, but I walked it. And I saved myself like $3 every single time. That doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think about it, let's say you skipped like 2 or 3 train rides, you'd save like, I don't know, like $10. You could easily get yourself something for breakfast for $10. Speaking about food, that is yet another way you can save money when you're traveling. I'm sure we all know how fast that can stack up. Eating out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner can stack up a bill real quick. So the way I found a way around this, and it's basically either eat like the locals do or shop at a local grocery store. It doesn't sound like much fun when you're visiting a place, but you're gonna save a crap load of money. This was one of the biggest ways largest ways that I saved money visiting Iceland. Because holy... So, to summarize my rambling I just had, in order to save with expenses, your three main factors are sacrifice luxuries like expensive hotels and accommodations, and food. Eat as the locals do. Don't pay $50 for a freaking piece of lobster and mac and cheese. Like, who does that? Rich people do that. And transportation. If you have to take the bus, take the bus. It's better than paying $20 to go up the street in a taxi versus like $1 for the bus. Obviously with these tips, it all depends on you, yourself, and your needs and wants and all that jazz. If you are not willing to sacrifice certain things, then you're gonna be spending the money for it. I always think about it like this, like how badly do you want to see this place? Do you want to wait like years until you save up the money to get your like absolutely 100% dream vacation? Or can you sacrifice a few things now, still get to see the location or go on vacation, but you don't get as many luxuries as you originally planned? I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit more worth it to give up some of the materialistic things and actually enjoy my experience. But I think that's gonna do it for today. So I'm gonna spit that YouTuber game at you real quick. So if you're new to my channel, I hope that you enjoyed this video or some of my other videos. If you did, feel free to hit that subscribe button and become part of my crew. Also, if you were cool enough to stick around for the entire video, you're the bee's knees. If you happen to like what you see, then please hit that thumbs up button so I know that you are enjoying my content and I can continue to create more of these videos for you guys. So I will see you guys in my next